Good morning, class. Today's Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. Every day of the week, we have a lot of fun. Let's name all the days of the week one by one. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What's the weather like today? It is super windy outside in my yard. What's the weather like at your house? If you have page 553 and 554 out of your workbook or printed off, we're going to do those today. And Mrs. Ba is going to go over our vocabulary cards with you. And I thought it would be fun to practice our clock, our analog clock. And then we're also going to do Chapter 8.1, comparing lengths. And we're going to do this page from our red workbook with the About pages. We're going to do page 231 and 232. Okay? Am I ready? Circle the object that is larger. So what's larger? A pencil or a paint? Or a tray of paints? Probably a tray of paints, right? Okay. Which is longer, a xylophone or a scissors? Or a pair of scissors? Xylophone. Okay, they want us to look at this string and they want us to draw something that's longer than a string. Right here underneath number 3. Oh, Miss Ba knows. I know something. What are you guys gonna draw? Something longer than a string is a fork. Is a fork longer than a string? Okay. Draw something that's shorter than that string. Can you guys think of something that's shorter than the string? I'm going to draw a button. Okay, number 5. What number comes next? 6, 7, 8. Did you guys get 9? Good job. Number 6. I come just after 10. I am just before 12. What number am I? So after 10 and before 12, what would go in the blank? 10, 11, 12. Okay, we're going to do page 554. Here's our math vocabulary words. Everyone say longer. Longer. Say shorter. Shorter. It says read each question, circle the correct answer. In the box at the bottom, draw an object that is shorter than your pencil. Let's compare. So, which is longer, a Band-Aid or a stapler? Stapler, right? Which is shorter, a paintbrush or the paints? A paintbrush. Then we have to draw something shorter than your pencil. Shorter than your, ooh, I know. What's shorter than your pencil that we use a lot? Can you guys see what I'm drawing? A crayon. A crayon's shorter. Okay, we're going to do our vocabulary cards. You guys can cut these out if you want. Mrs. Ba is just going to leave them together for now. All right, on the back it tells you what it is. So an analog clock is a clock that uses an hour hand, a minute hand, and numbers to show time. So I wanted to show you guys, this is called an analog clock when it has the hands. So remember, the short hand is called the hour hand, and the long hand is called the minute hand. So you guys can play around with this clock. You can pretend that you're a teacher, and you can teach your parents this, huh? So if you put the short hand on 1 and the long hand at the 4, it would be 1, say 1, and then count by 5 starting at 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, So it's 1:20. What if it moves down a little bit? So the hour, we do the hour first. It's still at 1. It hasn't reached 2 yet, right? So we say it's 1. Say 1. Now count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, move the minute hand down to the 6. And it's still going to be at 1, even though it's going down a little bit. That's how it works, but it's still going to be considered to be 1 o'clock, okay? So say 1, then count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it's 1:30. Or you could say it's 1:30. So 30 minutes behind the hour is called 1:30. And if it went here, it'd be 1:35. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Now you can keep counting by 5s, but when it finally goes up to the 12, and then the hour hand would move to the 2. Now we change it. Now we would say it's 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. So if it's at the 12, that means o'clock. Okay? On the back is this one. This one's called a digital clock, and Miss Bob put it in a bag. I'm going to use it like a whiteboard right now. So I have my expo. So if you guys wanted to write 1, 0, 0, this is a digital clock, and it would be 1 o'clock, okay? And then you can get a napkin or a piece of tissue or old sock. Remember, Miss Ball uses old socks in her class to erase her whiteboards. So if you erase that, you could put 1, whoops, 1, 3, 0. That would be 1:30. 1:30. Or, do you guys remember? 1:30. If you change this number, the hour number in the beginning of the digital clock, you would change it any hour you want. Like, let's put 5, for example. It would be 5:30. 5:30, or it'd be called 5:30. So you guys can play around with that too. So in the morning, if it's 5:30 in the morning, you would say 5:30 a.m. If it's 5:30 at night, like when you're about ready to eat dinner, you'd say p.m. So the morning is a.m. When it hits 12 noon, like at school, if it's about lunchtime, then we switch to p.m. Okay, so say a.m., say p.m. a.m., p.m. a.m., p.m. Like the gas station store, like the convenience store is called a.m., p.m. because it's open in the morning and it's open at night. Okay, if you guys have these pages, 563, 564, 565, 566. We're going to do those next. You can pause the video if you need to tear them out. Okay, so we're going to compare lengths. Let's read the essential question. Ready? How do I determine length and time? Can you guys read the markers? What do they say? Will we fit? Okay, so we have 3 boxes. We have A, B, and C. So it says, look around well, we're not in our classroom right now, so we're gonna cross this off. And we're gonna write, look around the house. Look around the house. Choose an object that will fit in the box A, B, and C, okay? And then it says circle whether object C is longer than or shorter than object A. Well, if you found something that fits in this box, is it gonna be longer than A or shorter than A? Who votes longer? Ding, 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 you're the winner. Okay, so you guys can pause the video. You're gonna draw 3 objects that will fit in the box from around your house or in your room, okay? Next is page 564. This is the back. We're gonna read this together. See and show. You can compare the lengths of objects. The paintbrush is longer than the pencil. The pencil is longer than the tube of paint. Okay, is the tube of paint longer than or shorter than the paintbrush? This little tube, is that longer or shorter than the paintbrush? It's shorter, right? So you guys can trace shorter than. And they have a helpful hint right here. This is the length of objects can be shorter than or longer than each other. So remember, we're talking about that vocabulary word, length. Can you guys say it? Length. Number 1, compare the objects and circle the correct answer. The pair of glasses is shorter than the marker. The marker is shorter than the picture. So is the picture longer than or shorter than the pair of glasses? This picture is longer than, so circle longer than. Okay, hold on, buddy. Okay, Talk Math at the bottom says, how can you tell if an object is longer than or shorter than another object? So what Miss Ba does is you could just look at it with your eyes visually. Like for me, I look and I say, oh, that's definitely longer, but you could also measure, right? You can measure it. So you guys can write, you can look at it or you can measure it. Or if you have a different answer, you can write that too. Look at it or measure it. Okay, page 565. You guys are going to do this part on your own. It says, compare the objects, circle the correct answer. The crayon is longer than the paper clip. The scissors are longer than the crayon. So is the paper clip longer than or shorter than the scissors? So you're going to do that by yourself. Number 3, the eraser is shorter than the glue stick. The glue stick is shorter than the pencil. Is the pencil longer than or shorter than the eraser? Okay, so do that part by yourself and then flip it over when you're done. If you guys need to pause the video, you can, okay? Number 4, compare the objects and circle the correct answer. The chalk is shorter than the pen. The paper clip is shorter than the chalk. Is the pen longer than or shorter than the paper clip? And you know, if it's hard for you to think of it, you can draw like a little picture. So you have chalk. Imagine a piece of chalk. It's shorter than a pen. Okay. And then a paper clip. So is the pen longer than or shorter than a paper clip? The pen would be longer than, right? The table, number 5, the table is longer than the book. So here's a table, here's a book. The book is longer than an eraser. So here's a little eraser. Is the eraser longer than or shorter than the table? An eraser is going to be much shorter, don't you guys agree? So circle shorter than. Right, math. A marker is longer than a glue stick. A glue stick is longer than a paper clip. Is the paper clip longer than or shorter than the marker? Explain. Well, why don't we explain with a picture? So we have a marker. And then we have a glue stick. And then we have a paper clip. Okay, so is the paper clip longer than or shorter than the marker? The paper clip is shorter than. Okay, class, remember that the letters ER make the sound. The letters IR make the sound. The letters UR make the sound. And the letters OR make the sound. So let's go over here. We're going to practice our words. Try to say them with me. Ready? Her. Again. Her. B-d, bird. B-d, bird. K-ol, curl. K-ol, curl. First. First. Worm. Worm. Dirt. Dirt. We're gonna go down. Curve. Nurse. Jerk. And this isn't like the bad word, because you guys remember can use like if you jerk something away from someone, right? Like she jerked my backpack out of my hands, which that wouldn't be nice, would it? But I just want you guys to know that's not just a bad word. Okay. Churn. Churn. Verb. Verb. Word. We're gonna go down. Bun. Does this have No. Burn. Burn. Clock. Clock. Clerk. Shirt. Shirt. Skirt. Go down. Surprise. Return. Return. Better. Remember IGH is going to be I sound. Flight. Lucky. Lucky. Large. Okay, let's do our sentences. Ready? Go. The girls at work were thirsty. Ready? Go. A big bird lurks on top of the church. Ready? Go. Fern will hurry back to change her skirt. Okay, you guys, let's see if we can fill in these blanks. You don't need to write them down. We'll just do it by watching, okay? So say trouble. Come on, say it. Trouble. Hole. Leaped. Stretched. Number 1. He ate the blank pie. He ate the trouble pie. Does that make sense? No. He ate the whole pie? Yeah. Number 2. The cat blank up on top of the box. The cat trouble up on top of the box? No. The cat leaped up on top of the box? Yes. Number 3. Jim blink out his arm to reach the top shelf. Jim trouble out his arm to reach the top shelf? No, that doesn't make sense. Jim stretched out his arm to reach the top shelf? Yes. Number 4, Beth had no blank taking care of the good dog. What's the last one we haven't used? Trouble, right? Let's see if that fits in. Beth had no trouble taking care of the good dog. We're going to read the story, Kitten's First Full Moon. And remember, the word first has IR, which makes the sound. So this genre is fantasy. So it's going to be a fiction story with events that could not happen in real life. It has made-up characters or animal characters who act like what? People. And it will always have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So our essential question says, what can you see in the sky Read about a kitten who thinks the moon is a bowl of milk. Miss Ball loves this one. It was Kitten's first full moon. When she saw it, she thought, there's a little bowl of milk in the sky, and she wanted it. So remember, events in the plot happen for a reason. The effect is what happens because of the cause. So we just read that Kitten thinks the full moon is a bowl of milk. So she wants the full moon. What does Kitten want? The full moon. Why? She thinks it's a bowl of milk. Pretty funny, huh? So she closed her eyes and stretched, look at, there's our word, stretched her neck and opened her mouth and licked. So if you guys look at the word stretched, you also see ED, which means that it already happened. It happened in the past, right? Can you see another word in here that has ED? Licked. So it already happened, right? What is she about to lick? Watch out, little firefly, huh? But Kitten only ended up with a bug on her tongue. Poor kitten. Did that work? Trying to lick in the air? No. Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting, okay? So she licked her lips. You guys saw that she was looking up at the stars and the moon, and she ended up getting a bug in her mouth, right? Her eyes are kind of wide. Does she look a little bit shocked? She's a little bit surprised, right? So she pulled herself together and wiggled her bottom and sprang from the top of the step of the porch. But Kitten only tumbled, bumping her nose and banging her ear and pinching her tail. Poor kitten! Oh no. Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So if you guys notice, they use this twice now. Still, there was a little bowl of milk just waiting. That's called repetition. It's when authors repeat the same thing to add emphasis, okay? So they really want us to know that it's still up there waiting. So she chased it down the sidewalk, through the garden, past the field, and by the pond. But Kitten never seemed to get closer. Poor kitten. Still, there was the little bowl of milk just waiting. So the author wrote that again. That's called repetition, okay, to remind us that Kitten's still thinking about that bowl of milk, right? Let's go ahead and look down at the cause and effect that we have so far. So the cause, Kitten thinks the moon is a bowl of milk, and the effect is Kitten wants it. The cause is the bowl of milk is still waiting, and the effect is Kitten chases it. So she ran to the tallest tree she could find, and she climbed and climbed and climbed to the very top. But Kitten still couldn't reach the bowl of milk, and now she was scared. Poor kitten, what could she do? Look at her little face. Then in the pond, Kitten saw another bowl of milk, and it was bigger. What a night! You guys see what's happening here? There's the moon and there's a pond. Do you guys know what that's called? Kitten doesn't know this, but that's called the reflection, right? So she raced down the tree and raced through the grass and raced to the edge of the pond, and she leaped with all her might. Look at our vocab, leaped with all her might. Can you guys make a prediction? Can you guess what's gonna happen? She's leaping toward that bowl of milk. What's gonna happen? Poor kitten. She was wet and sad and tired and hungry. Did you guess she was gonna get wet? Let's look at our cause and effect. Cause, kitten leaps into the pond. Effect, kitten gets wet, sad, tired, and hungry. Oh no. So she went back home. And there was a great big bowl of milk on the porch. Look at, someone put out some milk for her back at home. Just waiting for her. Lucky kitten. Let's look at our last cause and effect. Kitten goes home, and what's the effect? A bowl of milk waits for kitten. Isn't that a cute story, you guys? Okay, the last thing we're gonna do today is we're gonna do pages 231 and 232 out of your red workbook with the rip out pages, okay? Circle the word that completes the sentence, then write the word. Number 1, the blank is in the nest. The bag is in the nest, or the bird is in the nest? The bird, right? So underline IR and write it on the line. Number 2, the bird will eat the blank. The bird will eat the wave, or the bird will eat the worm. The bird will eat the worm, so underline OR, because OR makes the sound. Number 3, Nan blank her foot. Nan hut her foot, or Nan hurt her foot. Hurt, so underline UR, because UR makes the sound. Number 4, I won blank place. First place or fish place? Fish place. That's a funny one. Not fish place. First place. Underline IR. IR makes the sound. And write down first. FIRST. Number 5. He gave a gift to her, or harp. Harp. This isn't music class. Her. Underline ER. Okay, let's turn it over. Mrs. Bob's kids are crazy today. All right, ready? Adding ER to an action word changes the word to a naming word, okay? So Miss Bob can teach, right? But if you add ER, you get a new word called teacher, which is a person who teaches. That's me, I'm a teacher, okay? You can go to work, right? But if you add ER, you get a new word, worker. It's a person who works. So it says add ER to make a new word and then write the word, okay? So we can play, but if you add ER, we get player. PLAYER. Who is a person who plays, right? We know how to help, but if you add ER, we get a new word called helper. HELPER. It's a person who helps. Number 3, we can paint, but if you add ER, you get the new word painter. PANTER. Whoops. It's a person who paints. You can go surf, but if you add ER, you get a new word, which is surfer, which is a person who surfs. So you're going to use one of these words. You can use surfer, painter, helper, and player, and you're going to write your own sentence at the bottom. Okay? Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.